Hello and welcome to Real Hi-Fi Help. In this video I'll be taking a look at Lyngdorf and the sound that you get from using their equipment. I've actually owned a tiny bit of Lyngdorf. I think it was a CD player and amplifier, and it was interesting. It was very interesting. So it's sort of a niche market for I would say the younger, more modern type of person living in this city, and it's digital. It's cold. It's analytical. It's got this stable volume type of thing that a lot of people like, and it has a very distinct type of sound. And I'm a fan of that. A lot of brands, especially in the lower class, just don't have any stock signature sound that they go with. It's just a bit here, it's a bit there, it's a bit loose. You don't know exactly what's going on. I feel that it's clean, it's clear, it's distinct, it's separated, it's controlled volume. It's where gear starts to be interesting, So when you have normal gear like the cheaper models of Nade, Yamaha, Denon, Pioneer, Sony, Philips, Cyrus, Kenwood, Vincent, Musical Fidelity, when you have those lower models, then Lyngdorf seems like a lot like Class A, that it's just a lot more sexy, detailed, appealing, clean in sound. And it's just, it's for people who just like stuff that's really clean and clear and separated in sound. And you know what? There's a lot of speakers on the market that have a very moldy, shut-in, lower, warm type of sound. And I get it. Because of that, I'm talking especially about the older, lower models of B&W and Audio Vector, Daily, and stuff like that. When you have speakers like that, that's when Lyngdorf and Class A and Audioflight come in, because they kind of help cut out the detail, so you don't have to use a ridiculous amount on a really good speaker. You could use like a bit lower class speaker and still have a lot of value for the money. So it's one way of kind of manipulating sound, taking something that isn't quite as good, but somehow working with it with this like distinct way of cutting out detail. So yeah, it's worth a try just to get a taste of that sound. But I would have to say that Lyngdorf, Thorhauge, and Macintosh, those are like religions of sound. So either you love it or you hate it. I find it here like the bad things that I consider, and that's the fact that it just shows a lot of promise and impresses you a lot, especially when you're in the in the start phase of your hi-fi journey. But in the end, it just doesn't quite do it, because it's digital gear at the extreme. And what digital gear does is that it feels as if power is just not being delivered to the unit, that it's micromanaging it too much, so that it's sitting on the sound and it's lacking true deep inner emotional reaction, and it just doesn't like give a full slam type of sound and releases it. It just sits on the sound, being too nice, lacking bite, lacking intensity and true engagement. And instruments, they just sound off. It doesn't sound like proper instruments with wooden texture and really expensive strings. It just sounds like it's coming from a Yamaha keyboard, a cheap one. And I get this type of Aurenda Aurelix type of streamer sound that it's just really annoying. It's just very linear, dry, boring detail. So it basically sounds like PC sound, a normal PC functioning as a streamer. It just like no true engagement. But you know, at that level, I still think that Lyngdorf has, you know, a lot to offer for some people at the lower end of the market. So me saying that it goes from the low to the mid, and I mean when you say mid, then we're talking about the top models of Lyngdorf. And yeah, the top models of Lyngdorf, they beat a lot of gear on the market in the lower class. So does Class A with their top models, and especially Audioflight. I actually think Audioflight is a tiny bit better than Lyngdorf and Class A. But they all have their own distinct sound, and this is like a group of brands where you're into digital sound. And I would say that Audioflight is more going from digital towards a more neutral and perhaps a more higher class, warm type of sound, but it's still in the digital realm. But yeah, very, very, very interesting, and you guys should try it. Should try these 3 different brands and see how it stacks up compared to the gear that you guys are used to. And yeah, that's all for this video, and remember to like and subscribe. Bye.